Yo, welcome back to my TV program, everybody. I am Wherein Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon and The Blackest Heart, both books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today, we are going to be reviewing The One Kingdom by Sean Russell. This is book one in the Swan War trilogy. Came out in 2001. I remember reading it back in 2001 and really enjoying it, and I don't remember jack shit about it until I just reread it. I remember I enjoyed it. And upon rereading it, I enjoyed it even more. Like I said, came out in 2001. Let's talk about the cover first, because you know I love graphic design and cover illustration. This is a great illustration by Stephen Hickman, the illustrator. He's done a lot of work on a lot of covers. But this is a bridge with some horsemen riding across it and a big gorge with waterfalls coming down. It's just a great, great painting. And it wraps around all the way. And Stephen Hickman does a great job. He did all the Stephen Brust, Vladimir Taltos books. And he's done a lot. He's just done a lot. Love it. And I love the colors. And I love the gold embossed. You know, they don't make mass market paperbacks like this anymore. I don't know why publishers got away from just making these little jewels and gems. Because it's like a little gem. It's just so cool to hold in your hand. You know? With the gold lettering and the gold leaf and the shiny shit that they've got sparkling all over it, and they don't even fucking do this shit anymore. It's such a disappointment. Now all the mass markets just look like dog crap, and I'm starting to get myself worked up. Let's talk about the book. This would be my comparison would be this trilogy is Game of Thrones as if written by Guy Gavriel Kay. Because the prose and the way that it's written, the pacing, and just those simple word choices and the way that everything is structured in this book really reminds me of the way that Guy Gavriel Kay writes. Very similar, in my opinion. And my opinion is usually pretty spot on. So, you know, just believe it. And the story is very Game of Thrones-ish. It's very political intrigue. It's about two families warring for the throne. It's the Wills and the Renee. And they are vying for the throne. That's, you know, like the Lannisters and the Starks. In this one, we've got the Wills and the Renee. It opens with a very cool scene where a bunch of friends, brothers and cousins, are plotting to kill their other cousin, because Torrin is the one they want to kill, and he is going to be next in line for the throne, but they think he's an idiot. And they don't like he's a sympathizer to the Wills. He wants to make friends with the Wills. He doesn't want to fight with the Wills. He wants to make friends. And so now they are plotting to assassinate him. And the characters that are in the plot, who we meet in the very first chapter, are Dees, Samuel, Belder, and Arden. There's 4 of them. And they are hatching this plot. And we're going to kill Torrin during the jousting competition. Well, they've got a big competition, you know, like a arrow, you know, the bow and arrows and the jousting and the sword fighting. They got a big, huge fair coming up where they're going to all compete against everybody. You know, kind of like in the Game of Thrones where they had the jousting tournament. This is when they're going to assassinate him, because they can make his death look like an accident. So this is the plot they're hatching. And this is the culminant. I mean, it's like a murder mystery type of, we don't know if they're actually going to succeed in their plot until the very end. I mean, it takes this plot a while to sort of come to fruition. Meanwhile, on the other team, we've got these guys named Tam, Finnell, Bor, and Sindel, and they are traveling along a river to get to a destination for certain purposes. And they meet this fellow named Alan, who's like this wandering knight. And he kind of was like questioning them, why are you on this river? This river is not a good place to be. And as they travel down the river, we do find out. But as Alan talks to these people that are on this journey on this river, this is just such a dynamite way. This was a clever way. As a writer, and this is some writing advice, as a writer myself, I was like, Sean Russell really found a clever way to do a lot of exposition and world building as Alan describes this river and its dangers to these guys that are traveling along the river on a raft. Of course, they've parked the raft and they're on shore, and then he comes up to them while they're on shore. But he's like, and just as he describes this river, which is full of mysteries, just dark waters, things in the water, faces in the water, people in the water, creatures in the water, just mysterious islands, outlaws that are all kind of drawn to the river, and magical forests around the river. It's just, as he's describing all of this stuff on the river, which our travelers eventually travel through, which is kind of cool, because this is sort of a half Game of Thrones political intrigue novel and half quest novel, as Tam, Fennel, Bor, and Sindel travel through along this river. That's really part of the quest thing. And they meet different people. But I just really enjoyed the way Sean Russell introduced a lot of the world building just in that conversation between Alan and their travelers as he talked about the dangers of the river. And we got to learn so much about this world just in that conversation. And it just flowed naturally, and it just seemed to fit so well. Now, every character I've mentioned so far is male. We do have a female character named Elise, who is, let's just say she's betrothed to someone she probably doesn't want to marry. And then that's the machinations start from there. On the back, it's pretty simple. It says, in a kingdom long without a king, two great enemy families desire the prize of rule. The machinations of the Renee and the Wills have already sundered a troubled realm, and now, generations on, their intrigues could drown it in blood. Yeah, there are a lot of intrigues, betrayals, plots, assassination plots, just a lot of stuff going on, just like Game of Thrones. But, as I said, written as if Guy Gavriel Kay had written. Now, this is a very dark fantasy land that we're traveling through and that we're being introduced to here. Very magical, too. More sort of myth and legend along a magical vein than Game of Thrones ever had. This is like, we get different sorts of things and races and creatures and just touches of magic that are thrown at us through this that we never really got in Game of Thrones. And so it's a little bit more like that. I actually enjoyed rereading this. Now I've got to decide if I should go ahead and purchase every other Sean Russell book. Believe it or not, I've read quite a few of his books. I've just never owned any. I think I read The Initiate Brother and the sequel to that. And I think I read the four, can't remember what they were. The World Without End. I can picture them in my head. Anyway, but now I've got to go, now I think I need to start buying all of them. Anyway, I give this a solid, just enthusiastic, I was surprised at my reread, 9.5 out of 10. This was just a really good, I think if you like Guy Gavriel Kay, you'll love this. If you like Game of Thrones, you're also going to love this.